Okay, children, let me continue. Now we'll see what are the, this is the second class we are taking about. Continued, this is. Okay, we'll see what are the effects of tobacco users, tobacco abusers. Tobacco is nothing else, it's a kind of leaf, it's a part of the plant only, it's a kind of leaf which is made into powder. It can be seen in the cigarettes. And then some people it consumes orally, some people they will take in the form of cigarettes also. By inhaling the fume of the smoke of the cigarette, the disease will be that lungs disease, cancer, this may be the result of the tobacco using. Okay. So, why it is caused cancer? Because nicotine is a substance which is present in the tobacco. Nicotine, which is a poisonous substance present in the tobacco that gives cancer, lungs cancer, throat cancer, this and that. Okay, yeah. So, tobacco name is Nicotina tobacum. Nicotina tobacum, which is a poisonous substance, nicotine is there. The tobacco name is what? Tobacco. So, Nicotina tobacum and Nicotina rustica. These are the dried, the leaves are taken out, they dried and make into powder. It may be used in the form of directly they can consume orally as well as by what I say, by inhaling, by cigarettes. Okay, directly they are taking, mean they are chewing, that betel nuts we are saying, வெத்தலை பாக்கு போடுறோம் பாருங்க. வெத்தலை பாக்குக்கு என்ன சொல்வீங்க இங்கிலீஷ்ல? Betel nuts. Betel is the leaf. Nut and the பாக்குன்னு சொல்றீங்கல்ல அது. இது வெத்தலை and the பாக்கு. Okay. So like that we are swallowing. Now we are not swallowing, we are chewing it. The same like some people are chewing the tobacco leaves. And some people they are used in the form of cigarettes, I said. Some people they are using இந்த கஞ்சா அடிக்கிறதுன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க பாருங்க. They are snuffing it. Snuffing means what? மோந்து பார்க்கறது. அப்படி பண்ணலாம். Whatever it may be, this and all these are the ways of consuming the tobacco. One is chewing. Other one is inhaling by taking of cigarettes. Other one is sniffing. By these ways they get some happiness. The happiness in the beginning, but gradually it will make our health serious. What are the effects of that? Because of that we can get the cancer. What are the effects of tobacco? Consumption of tobacco, we may get cancer. What cancer it is? Lungs. Because we are inhaling, the smoke enters into the lungs only. We will be getting the lungs. And tuberculosis, pulmonary tuberculosis. This is the respiratory tract. Anga namakku TB varala. Tuberculosis means what? TB. And other one, it may cause eczema. Emphysema means that occupies a large portion of the lungs. And carbon monoxide in the tobacco, it causes the hypoxia in the body tissues. Blood pressure is increased. BP, blood pressure, it is increased because of consuming the tobacco. Increased gastric section. Gastric increase. நல்ல புகை போய் அடைஞ்சிட்டு என்ன ஆகிடும் உங்களுக்கு? கேஸ் ஃபார்ம் ஆகிடும். These are the effects of tobacco. And oral cancer also, mouth cancer. Oral cancer otherwise known as mouth cancer. So, we said what is tobacco. A nicotine is a poisonous substance present in the tobacco. It may be taken in the form of chewing, inhaling and sniffing. If you are consuming, you will become addicted to the tobacco. And what are the things? Lungs cancer we may got. The pulmonary tuberculosis, that is TB, may be in the respiratory tract. Eczema, I said, that is large area of the face is covered by the tobacco. Then BP increased. Gastric problem increases. And oral cancer, because we are chewing in the mouth, means it will be mouth cancer. It leads to mouth cancer. Then so we have to avoid the smoking. That smoking public places is prohibited. You have seen in the advertisements and all. Smoking in the public place means they will be fined. Because they are smoking, the person, those who are on the side, they also inhale the fumes. The smoke பண்ணி இந்த புகையெல்லாம் விடும்போது பக்கத்தில் இருக்கவங்களை என்ன பண்ண முடியும்? Forcibly we have to inhale. Because the respiration is involuntary action. It is not in our control. Going on. நம்ம பேசும்போது கூட நம்ம ரெஸ்பயர் பண்ணிட்டே தான் இருக்கும். Okay, our heart is functioning only. This and all what? Involuntary actions. So automatically you have to inhale the that is the smokes. So certainly நீங்கள் ஸ்மோக் பண்ணலனா கூட பக்கத்தில் இருக்கவங்க ஸ்மோக் பண்ணுறதால உங்களுக்கு என்ன ஆகிடும்? அந்த டிசீஸ் வரலாம். ஸோ the government has banned. So they should not, government announced them not to smoke. Even it is not listening and smoking means they are not worrying about it. Let them do their own house. அவங்க வீட்டில் அவங்க செஞ்சுக்கலாம். Not in the public places, that is prevented. So the Tobacco Acts passed by May 1st, 2004. Act is passed. Act means what? Sattam. May 1st, 2004. It is implemented that they should not inhale in the public places. They should not smoke in the public places. Then alcohol. Alcohol also the same like only. Before that I say alcohol abuses. Blood, nerve cell changes, nerve cell damage. They cannot talk like us. They will be going on repeating the same thing what they spoke already. Again and again they will be repeating, making up the family people to upset. But also rude behavior, blood vessels dilated, liver damage, and what is the main effect of alcohol means liver cirrhosis. Liver cirrhosis, alcohol effects. Now we have seen the tobacco effects, now we have to see alcohol effects. What are the alcohol effects? Nerve cell damages. They could not walk straight like this. They could not stand straight like this because nerve cells and all damaged. Then lack of coordination. All the body parts will not be work together. And third one is blood vision. Mangala. Nabbala pola clear vision irukadu. Vision means what? Paakradhu. They cannot see like this. Blood vision. Blood vessels dilated. And liver damage, that is liver cirrhosis, liver cancer otherwise. Liver is the biggest organ present in our body. It affects means that's all, the entire life affects. Body loss. Body loss, the body loses its weight. And employment will be pushed into them because they are not going for the work properly and they will be affected. Then the same like we should educate and give the counseling to the people. We should make them to avoid that thing. And the particular time வரும்போது அவங்களுக்கு கன்சியூம் பண்ணணும், ஆல்கஹால் எடுக்கணும்னு வரும். We can make them to be very active in some other activity. So parents and children can support the thing. They by showing affection, they can divert the person, and medical assistance we can give. We can send them to the rehabilitation center also. These and all generally it is not occurred by nature. It is because of the practice. That is child abuse, sexual abuse, consumption of alcohol, tobacco, and then what I said, drugs. This and all we have practiced by ourselves. அதுவா நம்மளை தேடி வர்றது கிடையாது, நாமளாக தான் அதை தேடி போகிறோம். ஓகே, ஸோ நம்ம ப்ரிவென்டிவாக இருந்தால் we can come over from all the problems. Next we have to see generally what is the diseases. This is we are not going to the disease voluntarily because of our intake of food. Due to parentage, we may get the disease. Some diseases are hereditary, some are due to communicable. மற்றவங்க கிட்ட இருந்து ஸ்ப்ரெட் ஆகிறது, சிலது வந்து பரம்பரையாகவே நமக்கு வர்றது. Next we have to see the diseases. What are the diseases? Diseases and disorders due to lifestyle modification. We are changing the modification. We are changing our natural behavior. Because of that, we may get the disease. Children, hurriedly we are taking the classes. Whenever time permits, I'm taking more effort and completing the lessons, because we have to go for the practicals also. So we should have some time for doing practicals. Almost, if I am completing this lesson, almost I completed all the lesson. Physics I have to take one lesson, chemistry one lesson, and biology one lesson, generally one lesson. Totally 4 lessons will be pending for me out of 23 lessons. Clear? So I have tried to complete as far as my concern. So when the school reopens, even though not reopened, that's left to the government, we'll be ready to do the revision. Okay, children? So in the meantime, you don't waste your time. Not only girls, I know very well, they will be learning only. Boys also, sit in the groups. You don't want to learn individually, sit in the groups and learn. I say short answers, choose objectives, whatever it may be. So you have to aim to score the marks. That is very important. Clear? Now we have to say diseases. So far the other things we have seen, this is because of our behavior. This is nature. So though we want to come over for the disease, we can go through, take by the medicines only. So now we have to say diseases and disorders. Disorders means what? Some of our parts not functioning properly. Diseases. This is easily it can be cured. First one, diseases are prevalent in our society due to our improper way of living, conditions, stress and strain. Because of our stress, strain and improper condition of taking food, this and all leads to disease. First one we have to say diabetes mellitus, that is sugar. Diabetic. Diabetes mellitus. 75% of our people are suffering with the diabetic problem. So it is a chronic metabolic disorder. It is characterized by increased blood glucose. How does it come? Because glucose, that is sugar, glucose increased. What's the reason for that? The glucose, no, this is the form of sugar needed for all. It can be stored in the pancreatic cells. So this can be controlled by insulin. Insulin is a hormone secreted in our body. That it can be controlled. If it is increased, that is sugar level is increased, the glucose level is increased in our blood, it is known as what? Diabetes mellitus. Clear? So underline the words. It is increased blood glucose level due to insufficient, deficient or failure of insulin secretion. So how does it come? Because of insulin. Insulin is enzyme. Insulin is a enzyme hormone. It is secreted in what I said, pancreatic cells. Pancreatic cells, endocrine glands. I think I took the lesson already. Yes, endocrine gland, pancreas, dual gland. I said, remember, dual gland. It acts as exocrine as well as endocrine. The pancreatic, it secretes a hormone, insulin. If it is improper secretion of insulin or more amount of secretion of insulin, that may cause diabetic mellitus. Either it is less or more. It should be normal. The body ku enna level la theviyo andha alavukku insulin secrete ana disease illa. Adu kammi aanalum less aanalum kashtam da, more aanalum kashtam. Okay? So we'll see this is glucose because improper secretion of insulin. Secretion, you know. So insulin, from where does it come? It's from pancreatic gland. This is, I said already, dual gland. Endocrine lesson we have taken. Pancreas. So leaf pole irukku, adukulla patches irukku, that is islet of Langerhans. Okay, pancreatic gland. There are 2 types of sugars. One is type 1. Other one is type 2. And we'll see what are the differences between them, type 1 and type 2. Type 1, this is insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. IDDM. insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. That is, so which is the main part for this? இந்த disease வர எது main reason இருக்கு உங்களுக்கு? insulin. 10 to 20% of the known diabetics. The condition also occurs in children. This is occurs in children only. That is between the age of 20 to 30. Not children, children as well as adult also. Children and young adult. Maybe 10 to 20 years. 10 to 20 years. Okay. This is caused by destruction of beta cells of the pancreas. What's the reason for this destruction? Destruction means what? Anji poradhu. Destruction of beta cells in beta cells. நமக்கு சுகர்னாலே பேன்க்ரியாட்டிக்கில் இருக்க இன்சுலின் ஒரு சரியாக ஃபங்க்ஷன் ஆகலை. ஓகே, டைப் 1 இருந்தால் நீ பிலோ 20 இயர்ஸ்க்குள்ளே உங்களுக்கு சுகர் வந்தால் தட் இஸ் பிக் டைப் 1. அபவ் 30க்கு மேலே வந்ததுன்னா அது டைப் 2. கிளியர்? Destruction thing. It is characterized abnormally elevated blood glucose level, hyperglycemia. It's an abnormal level of blood. Abnormal sugar எங்கே இருக்கும் உங்களுக்கு? bloodல இருக்கும். It's otherwise known as hyperglycemia. Hyperglycemia. So, because of the inadequate means what? Insufficient. Inadequate secretion of insulin. Okay, type 1 over. We have seen this is known as insulin dependent diabetic mellitus. It's from the children to young adult. Destruction of beta cells, I said. Beta cells in pancreas. It's abnormal blood glucose level. It's otherwise known as hyperglycemia. This is inadequate secretion of insulin. So, insulin கம்மியாக இருக்கிறதால தான் அந்த இது. அதனால தான் நம்ம என்ன சொல்கிறோம்? Insulin dependent. Independent means what? Insulin பேஸ் பண்ணி தான் இருக்கும். Okay? This is also then type 2. Type 2, non-insulin, this is NDDM. This is known as, this is adult onset. This is also called adult onset diabetes. This is young adult we say, this one is adult. Adult onset diabetes. Adult onset non-dependence. This is not because of insulin. Okay. Adult, 80 to 90% of the diabetic population nowadays, it develops slowly, usually milder and more stable. So, ரொம்ப கம்மியாக தான் இருக்கும், பட் ஸ்டேபிள். ஈஸியாக மெடிசன் சாப்பிட்டா கூட என்ன ஆகாது? ஈஸியாக அக்யூர் ஆகாது. ஓகே. இட் இஸ் இன்சுலின் ப்ரொடக்ஷன் பை த pancreas is normal, but the action is this is where we have written insulin inadequate சொன்னோம்ல. Here we have seen insulin is secreted normally. Insulin from the pancreatic cell, insulin normally secreted, but it is not functioning properly. Which is not functioning properly? Insulin is not functioning properly. Secretion in the என்ன தேவையோ அது secrete ஆகுது, but not functioning. It does not allow the movement of glucose into cells. The excess of glucose, what not functioning, எப்படி மிஸ் இன்சுலின் ஃபங்க்ஷன் ஆகாமல் போகும் நீங்கள் கேட்கலாம். Glucose, excess glucose should be stored in the cells. So, whenever the body needs, it will be supplied. பட் இங்கே என்ன ஆகுதுன்னு சொன்னால் டைப் 2ல் அந்த இன்சுலின் வந்து செக்ரேட் ஆனால் கூட it does not go to the cells. எங்கே போகிறதில்ல? செல்ஸ்க்கு போகிறதில்ல. ஸோ நாட் ஃபங்க்ஷனிங், that is does not go to cells. ஓகே, செல்ஸில் ஸ்டோர் ஆனால் தானே எங்கேயாவது தேவைப்படுமோ நம்ம எடுத்துக்கலாம். This is causes. The causes are multifactorial, which include increasing age, obesity, sedentary lifestyle, overeating and physically inactive.